Hello, everybody. Jeremiah Davis, and you're watching the Business Source. I'm the funding coach. I'm back to you again, going live. I got an awesome guest today. Y'all going to be really, really, really happy with this guest because he is going to help us all figure out how to find our passion, okay, our purpose
That's
in
right.
our business. This is amazing. He's a pastor, he's a doctor, he's a author, he's a motivational speaker. And without further ado, let me bring him in so he can introduce himself and give us all some stuff that'll help us. All right. Hey, Dr. Sims, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, funding coach Jeremiah. I am doing fine, man. I'm just glad to be here. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. Thank you for just agreeing to come on the show. I know you're a busy man, but man, when they booked us together, I was so excited. I was like, what? What? It's a perfect, perfect thing. I didn't even know what a person like yourself out there existed to marriage the destiny. Let me put it like that: the
Right.
destiny that is born in us with the business world.
Amen.
And a lot of us struggle to find that.
Right. That's right.
And a lot of frustration comes out of that. But before we dive too deep into it, I want you to tell the audience who you are, what you're about, what you're doing, all that.
Well, again, thank you for sharing me with your audience. I am Dr. Walter Sims, America's #1 person development expert, and I'm the minister of motivation, thus, the marrying of my spirituality and my business. I am a motivator. I'm a professional speaker. I'm an author. I'm a life coach. I'm also a pastor. And we just enjoying this thing called life, man. And we living on purpose. And my fundamental objective is to help people realize their purpose. And I like the way you corrected yourself at the beginning of the introduction. Passion and purpose are not synonymous. And we'll go through that during this conversation because purpose passions may wane, but purpose remains the same.
All right now. All right now. Okay. So first question we all got to know is what qualifies you to help business owners find their purpose?
Well, man, that's a great opening question, man. You going for you throwing for a touchdown right off the right at the beginning play of the game, man. You slinging for the end zone, but I stayed in corporate America for 30 years. I was working as an electrical engineer at a nuclear plant and working my business. I started my business in 2010, 2009, 2010. And so I was wearing both hats for a season. I started my business because I knew I was like, as an engineer, I was like a fish out of water. And I knew something wasn't right. And so I was talking to another friend of mine, another colleague, and he said, well, Dr. Sims, what else is a pastor but a life coach? And I'm like, ah. And so when I pursued that, when I got into that lane, Brother Jeremiah, man, it was a beautiful thing. And so I know what that looks like. I turned 50 years old 4 years ago. And one of the things, I wrote a blog, and one of the things I learned in 50 years, or one of the things I regretted, I didn't get in this lane sooner because my daddy was my pastor. And if I had realized this sooner, he and I could have had an even deeper relationship. And I'm realizing some things now that I could have realized a lot sooner if I had got in this lane sooner. So I know what fear looks like. I know what stuck looks like. I know what unhappy looks like because so many people regret waking up every day because they are working a job that they don't like. And so people come to me now, and somebody asked me this on Instagram just the other evening, what do they do now? And I help people sift through all of that because you ought to be excited to get up every day. You ought to hate to go to bed at night because you're working your purpose. Life should be exciting, Jeremiah. And I tell people, if you do not come out of this quarantine more inspired, more empowered, more motivated to live out your purpose. You have not lacked time, because that's what a lot of us have now. You have not lacked time. You have lacked discipline, determination, and want to.
There you go. I like the way you put that, because I can relate too, because I started my entrepreneur career later in life, and I was often wishing I would have known what I know now. That I would have started an entrepreneur right out of high school.
Right.
Wanted. But hey, God had a different plan. And I don't have any regrets. I did my time in the military, and I built a portfolio of working, sales, business. It just gave me the foundation I need.
Right. Right.
But even after I started, it was a tricky navigation
Right.
to find the right angle or the right fit, or to fulfill my purpose. Where I don't mind getting up in the morning.
Yes, come on. There you go.
I stay up late watching videos and training and researching and learning new things, and
That's right.
Investing more into me, into my business, because I wanted to flourish.
That's right. That's right.
And I know there is a lot of people out there that's going through that same situation. Right? And especially now, and you can Google this to verify it. And again, thank you for having me, and thank you for my followers watching. You can Google this number, find this number out. They are roughly right now, Jeremiah. They are roughly about 40 million people unemployed. And Ivanka Trump said, and she told everybody that, well, if you're unemployed, try to find you something new to do. Well, that's a lot easier said than done. Of course, that's why they need you or I in their life, because sifting through all of that is going to take somebody to help you figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And so there are a lot of unemployed people now. And since you're unemployed, this is the perfect time for you to assess whether or not you're fulfilling the assignment God has assigned you to. Right, absolutely. And that leads me into the next question. What advice do you have for business owners, entrepreneurs during the pandemic?
Well, again, this is a time, and it's sort of like this pandemic has been a reset for a lot of people. I was on a cruise a couple of years ago, and the whole cruise was entitled Reinvention, because a false indication is success. And just because you're successful, and I talk about it in the book that I sent you, Walk in Purpose, Grow Rich, a false indication of whether I'm living on purpose or not is success. And just because you're successful doesn't mean you're living in purpose. Now, if you're living in purpose, you'll be successful. And the worst regret, I did this challenge in April when the pandemic really kicked in and we were shut down. I wanted to encourage people every day, so I did a 30-day challenge, and it was entitled, Am I Climbing the Right Mountain? And the worst regret in the world, Brother Jeremiah, would be to climb to the top of your mountain only to realize you've climbed the wrong mountain. And so one of the things I would suggest people do is really evaluate whether or not you're fulfilling that thing God has called you to do. Because again, we're going to have to give an account of our stewardship one day. And God is going to ask, the great reconciler on high is going to ask this question: what did you do with the life that I gave you? Because there's a story in one of my favorite books, talks about the talents, 5, 3, and 1. And the Lord, the master, the supervisor, the CEO told the 3 men, I'm going away, but I'm coming back. And I'm going to ask for an account. I'm going to ask for a reconciliation report. And so he left, came back. Now, the individual that had five, the master, the CEO, the business owner said, "What did you do with the 5 talents I gave you?" "Well, sir, I knew you were tough. I knew you were strict. I knew you wanted a good return on your investment, so I doubled the 5. I got 10. "Oh, well done." He went to the 3. "What did you do?" He said, "Well, sir, I didn't have 5, but I have 3. And like my brother, my counterpart, my colleague, he doubled his, I doubled mine, so I have 6 to give you." "Oh, man, well done." And he got to the 1, Jeremiah, and his excuse was, "Well, I only had 1, and 1 is not that good, and then if I double it, it'd just be 2, so I didn't do anything. I just buried it." And so many people, and one thing I must say about purpose, Jeremiah, purpose is not sexy all the time. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people want to do something that's popular, sexy, the 15 minutes of fame. Everybody want to be the next Cardi B or the next Beyonce or the next Jay-Z. But the true success is fulfilling the assignment that God has particularly set aside for you. I can't be the funding coach, but I help people realize their purpose. You can't be me, but you help people find funding for their business. You know what I'm saying? It's a teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. Come on, somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I don't thought about 5 more questions. But no, it's important. It's important because is passion and purpose the same thing?
Oh man, that's my favorite question. Passion, and I say this all the time. Passion and purpose are not synonymous. See, you can have passion without purpose, but you can't have purpose without passion. Come on, somebody. And you again, passions wane. You and I are passionate about a lot of things, but that's not our purpose. And that got me in trouble a lot of times. I was passionate about a thing, but it didn't line up with my purpose. And so that's why one of the things I coach people in, let's develop a vision statement. Let's develop a mission statement. Let's develop your business statement, because when things come across your desk, you can hold up your vision statement and match it with this thing that you've been called to do. And if they don't line up with each other, I can't do it. Because the hardest thing for us as business owners and entrepreneurs to say is no. It may be a good idea, but it's not a purpose idea. It's not a God idea for what I'm called to do.
Absolutely.
So to answer your question, passion and purpose are not synonymous.
Okay. And your purpose ain't always glamorous, right?
That's right. Come on now. That's right.
Okay. So, let us know. How do you work your purpose into your existing business?
Okay. So many times what gets us in trouble is that we put the cart before the horse. And a lot of times we hop into a business that may or may not be our purpose. Because that's why I said a few minutes ago, just because you're successful doesn't mean you're living in your purpose and fulfilling your purpose. Because again, true success, and I talk about this in Walk in Purpose, Go Rich, true success is that you are fulfilling the contract God assigned for you. Let's say you get contracted to do a job. What's going to be your measuring stick? What's going to be your measuring stick at the end of the day? You're getting paid to do a job. And I've learned you got to do everything that contract says or you'll nullify the contract. So God has assigned us a particular task, i.e. purpose. And our heart's desire should be to fulfill that purpose. So I help people really figure that out. Because a lot of people come to me and say, "Dr. Sims, I'm doing this, but I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm not being fulfilled." So a lot of times your business may not be fulfilling you because it may not be your purpose. And so a lot of people have put the cart before the horse. And what I help people do is sift through all of that and really hone in as to why they are here. Because the 2 most important days in a person's life is the day that they were born and the day they figure out why.
Absolutely. like the way you put that. Actually, what was that? That was Matthew 25, right? The story of the parable. It was one of my first sermons in theology school.
Come on now.
You got to use what God gave you.
You have to. You have,
Yeah.
and can let me while we're here, and see many people, they get distracted because see they're watching your numbers. They're watching my likes and comments and subscription. They're watching somebody else. And you're so busy rubbernecking that you can't do what you've been called to do. Don't do that. Because comparing yourself, that's one of the great dangers of entrepreneurship, living this thing called business, etc. We get in so much trouble when we start comparing ourselves to other people because our journeys are not the same. Now, we're all working together. Teamwork makes the dream work, but you got your lane. I got my lane. I'm not going to be jealous of the funding coach because you're doing what God called you to do. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so glad that we were put together. We have a mutual friend. And when she told me about a man called Jeremiah, I got excited. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to applaud you because what I love to do, I'm your greatest cheerleader because when you living on purpose, you are fulfilling your God assignment and you will always get a yes because you are catering to the people that God set aside for you. Oh, you see, you get me stirred up now, preacher.
Yeah. And I mean, I like that because it makes me think about what I value is seeing my clients succeed.
That's exactly right.
That's I mean, the money is a great benefit, don't get me wrong, okay? But I want to see as many people become entrepreneurs and succeed as I possibly can. I want to help them do that. I want to help them, whatever vision God gave them, I want to help them fulfill it. You know, you need resources and you need knowledge.
And what was just dropped in my spirit, this is a fresh word. What was just dropped in my spirit, you are essential to the purpose God has assigned for you because that rings so true now. What you just said, that is so true now that we're living in a pandemic. 40 million people have been are unemployed now, and now more than ever before, you need to be doing that thing that God has called you to do that brings you joy, that brings you fulfillment, that brings you satisfaction because our world is so volatile. But one thing remains constant is that thing that God has instilled in you for you to fulfill it, and that's your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Your purpose is not going to change.
Right. And if you're working your purpose, you're going to succeed, right?
That's exactly.
You know, so it's going to work out for you.
That's right.
It's going to work out for you. If you just keep on working it, it's going to work out for you. I often tell a little testimony a couple of years ago when about a year or two after I left the corporate job, making six figures.
Come on.
I lost everything. You know, I had just enough money coming in to keep a roof over my head, but I had to keep on smiling.
That's right.
And I even challenged. I had the conversation like, "What's up? You know, you bring me down here, set me up, and I'm just gonna be homeless."
Right. Come on now. Come on.
The word that I got was, "Do you think I'm gonna leave you, or do you not? Do you wish, right, versus hope? Do you know I'm never gonna leave you or forsake you, or you wish I'll never leave you or forsake you?"
Come on.
And you know, then you're like, oh, you know. Of course, then I'll study that scripture for a while. Like,
That's
no,
right.
That's a sure hope that He brought me this far, and this it was a whole year. It was rough.
Amen.
But I almost aborted it. I almost gave up and went and got another 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know, but He wouldn't let me. He's like, no, you stay where you are and keep on doing what you're doing. And it's 2 years later, and this is even better. So,
Amen. Amen. Amen.
I say that because there's people out there that are going through. There's people out there trying to work their 9 to 5.
That's right.
And to start a business. And there's a pandemic. And there's kids. And there's parents.
Oh, yeah.
And there's, you know, there's life. You know, all around going on, and you're trying to do all these things, right?
That's
so
right.
Something in your belly saying, do this. You know, but it don't make no sense.
Right. And that's why they need to bring somebody on board to add to their team to help them sort everything out, because you have to be systematic about it. And I like what you're saying, and I may jump ahead a little bit, but I worked the 9 to 5. I was running the business. I was pastoring a church. I was doing all that. I had a family. I had 2 sons. I had a wife. I had all of that. I was juggling all those balls. And that's why the reason it is so important to make sure that you're living in purpose and doing what you're supposed to be doing, because we do have a limited amount of time. Because everything that we do in life requires 100% of us. You know what I'm saying? And so the reason people are overwhelmed, the reason that people are stressed out, the reason people are unhappy, the reason people are not where they need to be is because they're not really in line with what they're supposed to be doing. And it causes a lot of stress. You know what I'm saying? Man, the day that I got my walking papers from that nuclear plant, the day I got fired, April the 17th, 2015, at 4 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon, Central Standard Time. That was one of the greatest days in my life, because God gave me the left foot of fellowship, because I was using caution, but it was really fear. So I know what that looks like. That's what qualifies me to help people sift through the noise and sift through the clutter and drive out the shaft, the chaff, because I've been there, done that, and got a couple of T-shirts.
Yeah, that's it. It's coming from experience.
Yeah,
living it,
that's right.
And well, and then sharing that with other people, so that you can make it. You know, I want everybody who's watching right now that's going through this to know, don't give up.
Don't give up. That's the last thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. So here's $1 million question.
Okay.
All right. I'm ready to leave my job. Yeah. Now what should I do?
Wow. Man, Jeremiah, you must have been in my DMs the other day. Somebody just asked me that question. I was there. I mean, I was chomping at the bit. I was so ready to go. But I had another mentor, and him and I talked about this, I know, 4 weeks. And if I could boil that conversation down, because we don't have a lot of time, the one thing he said, and this is cliche, blossom where you are planted. And what that means is, while you're on that job, give it everything you got. Enjoy that job, because through that job, it can help fund your business. Okay? Your side hustle is your 9 to 5. Your purpose is your business. So while you're on that job, until things get better, i.e., you can fund your business and it is making revenue, because the first 5 years you are going to lose money. Come on, somebody. Trust me, I'm not telling you a stat I've read about. Okay? So while you're on that job, thank God for it, because it is funding your vision. It is funding your purpose. And when I got to that place on my former job, when I was looking forward to going to work again, I was happy to be at work. I wasn't looking at the clock waiting for 5. I was enjoying being at work. I didn't want to leave. I looked forward to going to work every day. I was being challenged. I was in a new position. And when I got to that place, I got fired. So my encouragement to everybody that's listening, if you're still on the 9 to 5, slow down. Thank God for that government job. Thank God for that 9 to 5. Thank God for that bus route. Thank God for that FedEx route. Thank God for that USPS job. Because until you get everything lined up, until you get all the ducks in a row, until you'll start making money doing that thing, you need to thank God for that job.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of my bishop buddies and one of my instructors said something similar. He said you cannot be focused on where you're going. unless you're doing what you're supposed to be doing where you're at.
That's right, and that's
So,
kind of that's tough. Hey, that's a bitter pill to swallow sometimes, cause you chomping at the bit. You see the funding coach, you see the funding coach popping bottles. You see Dr. Sim popping bottles. You see us out here making our own schedule. But you better tell them, funding coach, it's work out here.
oh
Working
yeah,
for yourself, it is work. It's not a job, it's a joy, but it's definitely work, brother Jeremiah.
absolutely. And oftentimes we always trying to reach out and catch the next shiny object. That's what I call it. Don't go for the next shiny object.
That's
You
right.
know, there's always another one, and you're not focused on what you got in front of you, and you're not, and you can't do it all at the same time.
That
But
and I was guilty. I was guilty, Jeremiah. But what I did not do, and I'm very thankful. I didn't mix my 9 to 5 with my business. I kept them as separate as I possibly could. I had worked long enough. I had plenty of vacation. I had plenty of. I could schedule my time off. So anytime I had to travel, I could schedule my days off, and I pray for people at work and stuff like that, but I never preached at work. I never did a lot of my personal business on company time because you're stealing. Let me chase this rabbit. Let me chase this rabbit. While you are working your 9 to 5, work your 9 to 5. Because if you try to work your job on your 9 to 5 job, you are stealing. Amen, webcam. Amen, webcam. Man, that thing hit me like a ton of bricks. We have to give, my dad used to say this all the time, we have to give the man an honest 8 hours of work, or however long we work, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours. We have to be faithful on our 9 to 5, so that when we start charging people and are telling them to invest in themselves using our ability, we want people to do right by us. Come on now.
absolutely,
So while we're
absolutely.
on our job, and I'm so glad you asked this question, because I was hoping we touched on this. Because in due season you shall reap if you faint not. There are 5 seasons: springtime, summertime, winter, fall time, winter time, and there's a 5th season. It's called due season. Okay, let me slow down. Hey, and you will reap if you don't faint.
Absolutely,
Okay?
absolutely, absolutely. So, so just to break it down for y'all, don't rush it.
That's
The,
that,
the,
that,
the,
thank you. Thank you. Thank
the
you. I was
door will
long-winded.
open. Yeah, the door will open when it's ready. Okay, because I know a lot of us are trying to get out of this, and so we can do more on this. But if it's too much of a struggle, I mean, it ain't your time.
That's right. And brother Jeremiah, let me say this while we're here. Because I love, thank you for just making that such a plain statement. I get a little long-winded. And part of not rushing, the way that you can accelerate the learning curve, is find somebody that's doing what you want to do. And that's why it's so great to have a life coach, because they can help shorten your learning curve.
Oh,
You
that's
know what
right.
I'm saying? Because people like you, people like me, see, I coach high achievers. I have a coach. I have a mentor. I have somebody, an accountability partner. You know what I'm saying? And so to help accelerate your growth, find somebody that's doing and doing quite well what you want to do. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. So find somebody that's doing what you're doing and emulate them. Pay
Right.
pay to be in their space. Get you a life coach. Get you a business coach. Get somebody to help you sharpen your piece of iron. And listen, I cannot stress this enough. Now the world says it like this: you gotta spend money to make money. But let me say it like this: in order to get where you're going, you have to invest in yourself.
Yes, sir.
If you're not willing to gamble on yourself, why are you asking other people to support your vision if you're not supporting your own vision? You ought to have a personal development budget. You ought to have a learning budget. You ought to have a development budget because you have to work on sharpening your piece of iron. Man, I love this interview. Man, thank you for having me today.
All right. No, no. One of my favorite quotes is, I see this on social media sometimes. It says, "Oh, you work 40 hours a week." I remember my first part-time job too.
Hello. Hello.
Entrepreneurship is more than it's more than 40 hours.
Oh,
It's
of
more.
course.
It's weekends. It's long hours. You got to put everything into it. You got to put everything into it, and we're talking about finding your purpose. All right. When you find your purpose, you're gonna want to put everything into it.
And you know what? And I love what you just said because it doesn't seem, man, we, like you said, we stay up. We can get a thought at 3 in the morning, have to hop up and write it down. You produce your weekly show. I have a daily show that I prepare for. I put out another book that's gonna release Sunday. We're constantly tweaking what we're doing. We're constantly doing something because this is our joy now. Fulfilling our God assignment. It is a joy. It's not a job. It's a joy, Brother Jeremiah.
Absolutely. I can't stop. I can't start new business fast enough. I'm like, oh, look at this. Oh, this is a very good.
Amen.
Yeah, and I get up and I start Googling and I start finding websites, domain names, and all the things I need to make that business happen. So, but I need to get what I got in my plate organized first.
That's
So
right.
of your book. I meant to do this at the top.
Amen.
But we're gonna do it right now. This is the book, and I got the autograph. But walk in your purpose and grow rich.
That's
Okay?
right.
And what is you got 2, 3 other books, 4 other books too?
Yes, sir. My first book, and I won an award for that. And I'm in another literary contest for my premarital coaching workbook that I put together. But my first book, Living Motivated, The Beatitudes of Living a Motivated Life. It's a lifestyle. My second book is I Declare Love. It's a 21-day devotional to improve your self-esteem. My third book is Just What the Doctor Ordered. It's a 21-day devotional to become a more positive person. My fourth book, you have Walk in Purpose, Grow Rich. It's my practical guide to realizing what your purpose is. My fifth book is a premarital coaching workbook where there's the 12 commandments you need to say or obey before you say I do. And the very first commandment, Brother Jeremiah, says, thou shalt know why you're getting married. And then my sixth book, it'll be released Sunday, Finding Christ in Crisis. And I produced that during the pandemic because it's never about the storm. And we got to stay focused on not only our spirituality, Jesus, but we got to stay focused on our purpose. We gotta avoid distractions at all costs. And so that book is just a gentle reminder that we have to stay focused.
Right. Yeah, that reminds me of when Jesus told him, "I'll meet you on the other side."
Hello. Hello.
All right, but you're gonna go through the storm.
Yeah.
You're going through the storm, but you're going to the other side. He already said you're gonna get to the other side.
That's exactly right. That's right.
The storm distracts you. The storm is a distraction. You got to go through it, but you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. All right, man. This was good. This was good. I need some more tips. We're gonna go a few more minutes.
Okay.
And hope our producer don't get upset.
Hey, we in overtime, right?
Yes, sir, we are. But it's needed. It's needed. There are people watching, and there's people going to watch this. It's going to be on social media probably forever, as long as there's social media. But it's important. I need it. I need better discipline.
Amen.
I need better focus. All right. I need a better plan. We can all. It's not done. We're still learning. We're still tweaking the.
That's right.
Edges and trying to hone in on where we're going.
That's right.
I got a vision for a entrepreneur school.
Oh wow.
Entrepreneur school that I'm waiting for God to open the door. You know,
Amen.
so I can offer this food to those who are disenfranchised.
Right.
You
Amen.
know, because my people perish for lack of knowledge.
That's right.
Not because they don't have no heart, not because, I mean, come on, we know people, we're going to hustle, we're going to survive by any means necessary.
That's right.
But if they got some knowledge and some direction, right, they could be more than what they are on the street. They can be,
Exactly. And that's why I love being a coach. And I know you love being a coach because when you're going through and you hear this all the time, you can't see the forest for the trees, you're too close to the picture, and all of those colloquial sayings. But it's good to have another set of eyes, somebody to walk alongside of you and to help you navigate where you're going. You know, we don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? And what's so powerful? People, high achievers, people that you would think are at a certain level, they all have coaches because they want to go even higher. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, I love being a coach, and being a coach, life coaching, is an art and not a science. You know what I'm saying? And I love being a coach. I love being a coach.
awesome, awesome. Yes, we can tell that how passionate you are about being a motivational speaker. I'm sure you got everybody lined up and ready to go, fired up and ready to go. How can people find you and find your books, find your material? What if they want to hire you? How do they get a hold of you?
Well, thank you again. Thank you, Brother Jeremiah, for sharing me with your audience. Real simply, just go to drwaltersims.com, and it's outlined on my website how to get the books, how to contact me, how to book me, etc. If you want to see some of my videos, you go to drwaltersims.tv. When I talk to the young people, they love it when I say this. I tell the young people I'm Googleicious, and all they have to do is put my name in the search engine, and all my information will pop up. And so I'm at a place now, man. 11 years ago, I wasn't doing this. Now 11 years later, man, I got a social media footprint. You know, I got a footprint now, and you can, in the words of Jesus, I'll let my works speak for themselves.
All right, that's good, that's good. For those who want to research more on Dr. Sims, the website's in the scroll at the bottom of your screen. So go check him out, buy some of his books. I plan to buy all of them. So,
Oh, amen.
but yeah, no, I can't see it, but there's about 2 bookshelves full of books right behind me.
Amen.
I love books, and I love learning, and I love, anything that can help me be better.
Oh, that's good. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I appreciate everything that you're doing, man. You're a great brother, and it's good to know that men, African American males, men, black men, are doing things like this because, the media, as Drake says, we don't get awards for this. We're doing the right thing. We are doing positive things. We're working on our legacy. And the camera, CNN, don't want to hear from us. You know what I'm saying? But God has set aside a handful of people that specifically set aside for the gifting that we have, and that excites me. And so I love divine connections, and I count you as a brother now, man.
Amen, amen. Likewise. So, I definitely be calling you up and learning some more from you as we get to know each other better. And maybe I definitely going to be back on the show again.
Okay. hey, likewise, man. I appreciate that, man.
No, really. Because like I said at the top, it's so needed in our community. We have to create as many entrepreneurs so we can take care of each other.
Amen.
Buy each other. We can buy from each other. We can support each other. That is where the true freedom. Entrepreneurship is a pathway to freedom, but your purpose is a true freedom, right?
That's exactly right. And I'm so glad that you couch the show this way, because a lot of people are not clear because they think they're fulfilling their purpose just because they're in business. But my heart wants to make sure that you're fulfilling that exact thing God has set you aside for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing that just came to me, just stressed off the pressure. Uh, you can't quit your purpose.
You cannot. You cannot. You may want to, but you can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't quit. You can't quit when you find it. You can't give up on it. You can't quit because it won't leave you alone.
It
It'll
won't do
always
it. It won't do it, man. It won't do it.
so. Yeah, yeah, man. This is a great show, and I want to thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule and coming on. And we're gonna connect soon. I don't know. We got a couple minutes. Anybody got any questions? We
Yeah,
got two
anybody got any question? As check your feed. Check and see if anybody got any questions.
I got some comments. You know.
Okay, talk. Come on, read them to me.
Well, one lady said she's at work. You know, I think she was trying to when we were talking about work, but she said wonderful. Then she said her and a young lady are going to be talking about the same thing this afternoon.
Amen.
So
Amen.
that's confirmation right there.
That's good. That's good.
That you know, this topic is important, and we're not the only ones talking about it.
That's right. Amen. That's good stuff. Amen.
Yeah. Okay. Nope. I ain't got no other comments like that. But with Dr. Tim, woo!
Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here.